What are some amazing discoveries in China that scare scientists? We know you've been wondering about this. We have too. So today we present you the top 10 that will make you gasp. We have both old and new discoveries, as well as some theories, if proven to be true, that could completely turn things around for the entire world. Are you ready to see all of them? Then what are you waiting for? What am I waiting for? Let's go together. Number 1. Crystals on the Moon. Chang'e 5 mission landed on the moon in 2020, and its goal was to gather lunar samples. It did, and went back to Earth with about 4 pounds of rock that were carefully examined. What was found on them is something that has all the scientists out there scared out of their wits for the possible implications. Single crystal particles made out of a completely new mineral. Along with this amazing discovery, it was also confirmed that the surface of the moon contains in it a component of nuclear fusion that has the potential of unlimited power that it gathers from the same forces that fuel both the sun and stars. Now, if this all sounds more like abstract theories to you, then you're like us. But we're unlike the Chinese scientists who can actually understand what this new discovery can mean in the future for humanity, especially if we reach the point that we can extract matter from the moon. Number 2 is searching for dark matter. DAMPE is the funny-sounding acronym for a very important thing. That's DAMPE, Dark Matter Particle Explorer, which is, as you probably guessed, Chinese. In 2017, this unfunny but superbly cool thing discovered some weird signals while it was measuring high-energy cosmic rays. What does this mean? Well, it might be that we can finally start to understand dark matter a bit more, finally. It was the first time an experiment had actually reported back such a precise electron and positron spectrum. Now, we know how dark matter fires up our imagination and, for better or worse, conspiracy or otherwise wild theories about time travel, aliens, parallel worlds, etc. So, one small step in understanding it could indeed be amazing to either hush up the theories or fire up the theories. It remains to be seen which way this is going. Hey, how you holding up so far? Are you ready to see what else we have in store? Well, just wait, my friends, because as always, the best are yet to come. And also, if you subscribe and leave a comment that says, "I subscribed," I'll personally reply to your comment. Number 3, the earliest evidence of human existence. Up until now, we knew the oldest skeletal remains and stone tools were found in Demonse in Georgia, and they date back to 1.85 million years ago. Yeah, that's pretty old, but you know what's older? The new discovery the Chinese made that shows actually humanity goes even back further than that, with proof. Archaeologists have found stone tools from the early Pleistocene at Shangqin in the Chinese Loess Plateau. These ones are from, ready to hear it, ready or not, here it comes, 2.12 million years ago. And you might think, it's not that big a difference. Let's spell it out differently. 270,000 years different. Yeah, that's a pretty good sized gap. And also, these remains suggest that contrary to what was previously thought, there might have been a human presence outside of Africa. Number 4, the precise value of gravitational constant. Measuring the gravitational constant precisely doesn't seem like much to us mere humans, but for scientists, it's something extraordinary that could change a lot. And when we say a lot, we mean a lot regarding on your understanding. Because we make the top 10s for us mere humans, let's start by saying what the gravitational constant is. It is the fundamental building block of our understanding of gravity, and it is an empirical physical constant involved in the calculation of gravitational effects, in Sir Isaac Newton's law of universal gravitation, and in Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, denoted by the capital letter G. An amazing team of Chinese scientists used both the angular acceleration feedback method and time of swing method, and they managed to come closer than anyone else at actually providing the most accurate measurement so far. Well, we're almost in the middle of the list, so it's the perfect time to remind you, if you haven't already, check our channel right at the end of the video, because there's so many amazing top 10s and they will keep you entertained for hours. And while you're there, be sure and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. That way you won't miss when we drop our newest videos. Ready to go? Let's finish up. Number 5, monkey clone. Science fiction has taught us how bad things can get when we start creating living things that weren't there before. But real science, they don't care about that much. To prove this, Chinese scientists have actually created 2 genetically identical macaque monkeys. How? Remember Dolly the sheep, the first cloned mammal? Well, they took the same technique along with a few new ones in these long-tailed macaques. This new feat for non-human primates could actually do a lot for genetically uniform monkeys for biometrical research. The cute babies were named Zongzong and Huahua after a Mandarin term for the Chinese nation and people. It's all very exciting, but we have to admit, still very scary if you imagine all the possibilities. Number 6, treating depression with ketamine. I mean, it sounds counterproductive, but let's see what this team of Chinese researchers found before we make up our minds. So, ketamine and depression. Now let's get technical, because if we start saying our opinion on this, it won't go well. The research, led by Zhu Shujia at the Center for Excellence in Brain Science and Intelligence Technology at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, focused on the binding of ketamine and the N-methyl D-aspartic acid receptor. NMDA receptors are a major class of excitatory neurotransmitter receptors in the brain that gate the entry of calcium, an important signaling molecule. When the NMDA receptor is activated by a glutamate, the channel opens to allow calcium to flow inside the neuron, and when the NMDA receptor is too active, more calcium ions are allowed in and cause loss to the cortex and hippocampus, resulting in brain disorders like depression. Ketamine, when binding to NMDA receptors, is found to be able to quickly reduce the core symptoms of depression, notably suicidal thoughts, within hours, and is also effective in patients with treatment-resistant depression. Like we said, we're not even going to give an opinion here. We might not be Chinese scientists, but this discovery scares the crap out of us. Number 7, plant growth that's balanced. Now, this might not be as scary as it is fantastic, but you know us humans, we can turn the best thing into a monstrosity, so anything new and exciting regarding science causes a lot of scientists to be skeptical. In this case, with this finding, we can reach sustainable global food safety. How? Chinese researchers found out that crops can be bred with high yields and less fertilizer with growth-regulating transcription factor GRF4 that has the opposite effect of growth-inhibiting proteins called DELA in crops. So GRF4 and DELA existed in a balance that regulated plant growth and nitrogen metabolism. I'm not super clear what's what, but sounds impressive nonetheless. Well, we've made it to the top 3. And you know we've kept the best for last. You don't have to be curious, you know. We'll give you a tiny little hint. Of course we did. Enjoy the thrill, my friends, because these discoveries coming up are really scary. Number 8 is discovering cellular structures with super-resolution microscopy. Both Chinese and American scientists collaborated in order to develop a new imaging technology that can perform high-speed, long-term, super-resolution imaging of intracellular physiological processes. No, that doesn't mean we're taking better selfies, although that's practically a given. But what it means is, with super-resolution microscopy, the scientists can finally overcome the so-called diffraction limit, and they're able to visualize preciously invisible molecular details in your biological system. What this means is that biology just got a big upgrade, and if it manages to overcome all the technical difficulties, then the future may hold many amazing discoveries. Number 9, the creation of single-chromosome yeast. Have you ever dreamed of creating a new animal or a plant? Yeah, we did too. And apparently many others did. You'd be surprised to know that we're now one step closer to achieving this wild and quite scary fantasy, because for the first time ever, organisms with multiple chromosomes were created artificially into single chromosome forms by a team of Chinese scientists. The single chromosome years has no differences from its wild counterparts, and this research shows us that even a complex genome system can be finely simplified with manual intervention. Number 10, cancer therapy with DNA robots. Again, this isn't a bad discovery, but it can be scary for a lot of reasons and to a lot of people. But if it works, it could provide an easier life to suffering cancer patients and their families. A group of researchers made a nanorobot of DNA fragments that could not only locate cancer cells in the body but destroy them. For now, the experiments have been taking place only in chemically created environments, using a gene that serves in oncological diseases as a molecular switch for the induction of the cell division. Next up is experiments on living cells, and if that's successful, then next up is animals, and if that works, then it comes to humans. If successful, then we can finally say we could wave bye-bye to cancer. We can only hope. Well, there you have it for today, the top 10 amazing discoveries in China that scare scientists. And it's time to hear from you. Which one scared you the most and why? Let us know in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.